Let me present to you my Frankenstein, the Edel-nator. Stupid, I know, but that was the whole point. I want to make it stupid. It's because farts and poo are funny, and I like stupid jokes. What's the point of this? Well, here's what I'm doing: is that this is the normal bowl for a Dominator, and basically it's a 4150 style. You know, you can get extension ones and whatnot. Well, since I happen to work for an awesome company, we have this new VRS style, and it's got baffling, internal baffling. Plus, as you can see, it's much bigger as far as the amount of fuel it can hold, and that's awesome. The only difference is that, you know, from here to here, there's about 250 to 300 thousandths difference depending on which one you use. I was running the quick fuels on this Dominator before. I ran these. It didn't really make a difference. So I'm going to try these, and the whole idea of this is just to get more fuel in there, so that way I can slow down the volume of fuel going into it. I shouldn't use the word volume. I slow down the pressure, increase the volume, so that way I can get less air into the system, therefore hopefully making more power. That's the idea. Here's one of the things I do is that this is the needle and seat I'm using. These are from AED. They're 150 thousandths. This one is not. This one was actually misboxed, so I'm not using this one, but I did buy a couple sets just for spares. But the difference on this one is that you can see that it's got a little ball valve in there. It's 150 thousandths on the hole inside there. Technically, it's an alcohol, but, you know, hey, I would rather have high volume and less pressure. Pressure is just essentially resistance to flow. So if you have high flow, you can drop the pressure and have the same amount of volume, because it's, you know, look at electrical, you know, I mean, you can use the formula. I'll put the formula up somewhere here. And that way you can basically just translate it to volume. It essentially works the same way. So yeah, now there are some things that I did in here that I'm not showing inside here, because this is a 3-circuit system, and these VRSs come with a 4-circuit system, so they have two intermediates, a high intermediate and a low intermediate. Technically, this is only a 3-circuit, so I can't use the billet block on it, but that might change. That might change. I'm not telling you yes, no, or indifferent. All I'm telling you is that I'm trying things, and I'm going to be putting this on there. We're going to be firing this thing up here in a few, but I'm not going to go into much more than what I'm doing as far as tune-up. So 150 needle and seats in this thing, and oh yeah, I did make a paper here, and this is kind of my baseline setup that I have right now. So the high-speed air bleeds are 40. That's stock. Right now on the air bleeds, I'm at about 43. The reason for that is I did drill decent sized holes in there, and this is basically my setup that I had last time. So I'm going to start here, and this was about perfect. So yeah, I'm going to move forward with that. As far as squirters, currently right now I have 35s, I believe, in here right now. I did change the accelerator cam to the smaller one, so it doesn't empty it out all the way. It might be not enough now with the technically the 35s on it, but it did have 37s, but it does come stock with 35s. So I'm going to check that out. And yeah, we're going to make some noise. So yeah, moving on. Another one of the main differences that I'm changing this for is this right here. This is your drain hole. Typically, you pull out one of these. You get one of these little, I should have had this set up, but you know, we kind of do this on the fly. You have one of these, you put it here, and this is how you soak it up. But this one right here is really awesome because you can basically just put it right there, or just even put it like that and fill the cup up. And obviously this has got little different types of bolts. The bolts are a little longer than the factory ones. See how much longer they would be than this style here. So it's a much big difference because it's going from a much higher bowl area. You can see it right there, and you can see the difference in bowl height from here. Now I did take, this is off of my quick fuel that I had on there. They do have this style of accelerator pump, but this is the one that was on the Dominator. It's got a little different type of diaphragm. So I'm going to run this one for right now, but I can run the VRS one in the future, which I will probably change to. The difference about this one is that well, the Dominator you can do obviously left and right here. You can have dual feed. Same with this one. You can have dual feed also. The quick feel didn't have that option, but the quick feel was a little bit bigger of a bowl than this Dominator one, and this is the biggest out of all of them. So I'm going to run this one, and I'll have this thing. Oh, and right now too, I got the power valves set out right now, and yeah, basic setup. Here's another quick little tech tip. Whenever you put a new needle and seat in there, this is basically in there. If you just set it like this, obviously it's going to fill up and it's going to go straight to the moon. So what I do is on this is, you got to remember this though. Clockwise tightens, so that basically means that you're going to go down. That means less fuel. Counterclockwise means up, which means out, which means more fuel in the bowl. So I can't do this with this, but what I do is I'll set this down so right about here, so it's actually below the level, so that way I can bring it up to where I want it to be. Now this is just me. Everybody's got their own little things. In fact, I hate talking about setup because everybody always, oh, you're doing it wrong. I personally like putting the fuel right in the center, right in the middle of this sight glass. Some people like it at the bottom. Some people barely want it showing. I like it right in the center. Here's why. Is that if throughout the day, if the DA goes up, DA goes down, whatever, you can raise and lower the amount of fuel in here with this. And instead of changing the jet, if you just lower this, it's going to put less head pressure on the jet, which then in turn is going to make it slightly leaner, very slightly, but it does compensate. The DA goes, let's say you're going down. So that way you need to put some more fuel in the thing because you're starting to notice it. You can put a little bit more fuel in here, puts a little bit more head pressure on the jet, which then in turn slightly makes it, more fuel. You can do the exact same thing with air bleeds, but this is a much simpler setup. Now on these setups, I do know that 2 flats is half the window. So if I'm at halfway, I put 2 flats in it, I already know it's going to go up. On this one, I don't know yet. One more tech tip on this. Typically, this line right here, I line it up with one of these. That's going to be somewhere in this. So then I'm going to go 2 flats tighter than that. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. Oh, it fell off. See? So I hate one-man auto. Okay. So then I'm going to go 2 flats. So try and do this through a screen. There's one. And that should be 2-ish. So you can see how much it changed. So see how much it dropped down. So that's where I'm going to set it right there. So just 2, I line it up to just underneath that, and then I put 2 flats on it. That should be close to the bottom. We're going to see how close it is. It's the front bowl, and we're going to see. And I don't care if it's wrong or right. We'll show you what I get. Alrighty, moving on. I lost a little bit of video, but where I set it before was perfect. Now you can see that, see if I can shake this a little bit. But you can see the line right there and the line right there. That was exactly. Now the thing is that on the smaller bowls, 2 flats puts it half. This one's more like 4 flats. So yeah, so you can see that I have it set up so that way the flats right there. This one right here was a little different because it just happened to be right there, and that quarter of a turn of a flat makes a big difference. So yeah, so we're gonna after lunch we're gonna make some noise. I was gonna hopefully get to the track today, but it's windy outside and it sucks. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And I'm gonna pull the plug on one of these right here so that way it just doesn't automatically just possibly do its thing. So alrighty, well yeah, that's that.
Wake the dead. Wake the dead. Wake the dead. Out to the cemetery. Come on, everyone.
I've never played this before. How does it go?
Oh, it's awesome.